Hi everybody and welcome to our YouTube channel. We are as always your hosts Arne and Carlos, and today we are going to be looking into the archives again to review a few pieces from our extensive collection, and we're also going to tell you a little bit about how we store them because a lot of people ask. Now before we start, in case you are very upset because you missed an episode of Arne and Carlos on YouTube, there is a cure for that. All you need to do is turn on your notifications. You will be notified every time we post a new episode. We usually post on Sundays, but sometimes we post on other days. So by turning them on, the notifications, you'll always be up to date. Yes. Okay, Arne? Yeah. So now that we have gotten the formalities out of the way, why don't we just start showing pieces from our collection? And what would we start with today?
I think I want to start with this one because when you were talking, I spotted more stitches that are broken because this is my garden jacket that I'm constantly repairing.
And everybody knows this jacket if you've been following us anyway, because we have done tutorials on how to repair old knitwear, and this is a work in progress, as you can see.
And I start using it in the garden again, and it's almost worn out again. So,
but it's getting better.
I made a new placket. I just had to make more put on more buttons, and I'm constantly finding stitches that is gone because they're pulling out. I just saw this one. So I had to add yellow again. But now this is going to be like very redesign.
Yeah, there's something interesting that happened since last time we had it out. I can see it here. If we turn it back like that, you will notice.
Yeah, because I was sewing this yellow, and then I saw that the white was so thin. It was almost breaking, the white yarn. So I started to put duplicate stitch on top with blue. So now this will be blue
duplicate stitch
on the shoulders.
So
I'm changing it totally now.
And it's kind of extra thick up here now.
Yeah.
Now if you're wondering where this jacket comes from, this is a very old jacket. This is a Nordlandskofte. If you're Norwegian, you know what that is. Nordlandskofte is a jacket that comes from Nordland, and Nordland is up in the north of Norway. The capital of Nordland is Bodø, and the spectacular Lofoten Islands are part of that area. Yeah. So this is the traditional jacket. I don't think it's that old. I think it was designed in the 1920s or something, or maybe after the war.
It's not old.
It's not very old, but this one is probably 50 years old. Yeah.
But let's turn it inside out. If you haven't seen this before, you will see why we are repairing it, because this looks nice, some of it, but when you look on the inside, it's so bad.
Yeah. This is
what happens when you don't carry the floats.
Yes. Every
time I put it on, my finger gets stuck somewhere and the yarn breaks and the stitches pop. So now I have another yellow, but I'm still working on it. So
remember, carry your floats, because this is not acceptable.
This is crazy because there's like so many stitches in between. I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15 or 16 stitches. 15.
And in case you're wondering, no, we didn't knit it. It's about 50 years old. We bought it at the Salvation Army, their outlet where they sell old clothes for charity.
Yeah, but the pattern was nice. So
yeah. So let's go on to something else.
Let's look at the newest finds.
Okay.
Or the new things we got.
Yes, we usually go to Pitti Filati. That is a trade show for yarn, and it's only for professionals, so people in the yarn industry go there. And there is a really cool second-hand vintage area at the Pitti Filati where you can buy garments. It's a little bit high-end, and I have to say a little bit expensive, but we couldn't resist. We saw 2 amazing Norwegian sweaters that we just had to have. And this is the first one that we purchased. It is gorgeous, as you can see.
Yeah, the person who sold it to us said that this one also was from Norway. There's no label.
But it's definitely from Norway.
But you can feel it. It feels very Norwegian.
This yarn, when you touch it and when you do this, like this, it's super bouncy, and there is this quality that Norwegian yarn has. Remember what we told you before. If a sweater is knitted in a very high quality 100% wool, which is not superwashed treated, then the garment will last forever and there will be no pilling. So this garment here can be anything from 10 years old to 60 years old. We wouldn't know the difference because the wool would stay the same, which is incredible for you know, a characteristic that wool has.
And it's really beautiful.
It's very beautiful.
We like the color combination with the two grays and the blue.
And for me, this is a traditional XO design, like a typical setesdal, which we're going to look at as well today. But it's modernized, it's more graphic, it's more stylistic.
It could be from the 60s.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It leads me to believe that this design is probably from the 1960s because of the way the graphic pattern is built up.
And it's a little bit oversized, so it's really comfy.
Yes.
It's a really nice sweater.
And in fashion, the past seasons have all been about the oversized garment, so it's perfect to wear oversized.
And I think it's hand knitted also.
It's hand knitted, yes.
Looks
for sure.
Very nice. A good knitter. Oh, the lamp.
Whoa.
And then we found one more, and this says handmade in Norway. William Schmidt Company,
Yes.
Oslo.
And again, purchased at the Pitifilati at the vintage area. And it was also irresistible. There's something about the color combination that we really love.
This is very nice.
I love this raglan.
This is how a raglan should look.
This is a raglan sleeve. It should go from that point down, and it should give plenty of room for the sleeve. This is what I call a good raglan.
Because there's a lot of strange raglans going on now. They're going like this.
Yeah.
I think there's something wrong.
Yeah, so this is a raglan that we like. And this is a sweater that we really like. Again, the pattern is really nice. Yeah.
It's beautiful. And I think there was a stitch that was gone, so I had to repair it.
Yeah.
I can't see it now, but that happens all the time.
It's also a little bit oversized, looks really good. This one also has that amazing yarn. It's slightly softer than this one. This one is a little bit coarser, the yarn. This is a little softer, but again, it's that kind of yarn that will never pill and will always look this fresh.
I think this one is really good.
Yes, it leads me to suspect that this one also could be from the
there are
50s or 70s or even 80s.
There are some floats that should be carried, but
all in all,
so far,
an excellent piece of work.
It haven't broken.
Yes.
But it's beautiful.
So, Arne, I was mentioning setesdal when we were talking about this one and the kind of X and the O idea. We have a setesdal sweater here today.
This is something I made when I was a kid. And I made it simple with a boat neck because I didn't have time or didn't want to work on the purling of the pattern, or I didn't want to, because sometimes you can make it by knitting back and forth and then you purl, or you stick it.
Very nice.
I think I made this when I was up in the mountains and I didn't have the sewing machine, so I just made this curved.
Do you remember the yarn you used? What company?
It's Per Gynt.
Per Gynt, yeah. So a very high quality Norwegian brand. Does it exist now?
Yeah. It's still around.
Yeah, a very high quality, beautiful Norwegian yarn. Again, the sweater is in perfect condition.
And I think this is the one that is called Ny Setesdal, the new Setesdal.
So it's a modern interpretation.
So this is knitted from an old pattern.
Yes. And you may know the setesdal sweater from our book, Norwegian Knits with a Twist, where we not only talk about or write about the setesdal tradition, but also kind of do our own twist on the designs. And yeah, it's one of the most iconic pieces of Norwegian knitting history, the setesdal sweater. From around 1840, they started knitting this one in the region of Setesdal. Before that, there was not much color work in Norway. And in order for it to be a Setesdal sweater or qualify as one, it needs different elements, like the cross and the X and the O, the half crowns, and the snake, which I think is this one here. Right?
Yeah.
So and the lice. So those four elements need to be on a Setesdal sweater. And we have with us another sweater that we have designed ourselves. And that is
that is in the same.
In the book, Norwegian Knits with a Twist, and it's this
I wonder
one.
if I can get into this anymore.
Well,
no. It shrinked in the closet.
yeah, that happens all the time.
Happens with wool. So this is from the book, and the one in the book had a round neck. But again, I'm lazy, so I just made this taggekant. It's like you knit two together and yarn over for one round, and then you do the
Picot, yeah.
the placket,
Yeah, and then you fold
and
it.
you fold it,
And
so
then
you
you
get
get-
a nice line.
Yeah, isn't that what they call the picot?
Picot,
up
maybe?
here?
I don't know.
And this is a reinterpretation of setesdal. It has all the patterns that you need to have, but in a new way with different colors. And I don't know the yarn here. It's
This
a little
is
bit Vamsegarn. Oh yes, from Rauma.
Yeah.
Yes, a very nice Norwegian wool that is really good for outer garments. Again, this is water repellent, and it is a little bit hairy, unlike the other one. There's a little bit of...
And this you make in 4 evenings.
Yeah, it's a quick
One
one.
sleeve one evening, and the other one evening, and you need 2 evening for the, or 2 nights for the body.
Yeah. So this one you can get the pattern in the book Norwegian Knits with a Twist, Strikk fra Setesdal or from Setesdal in Norway. So
But with a round neck.
With a
you
round
can
neck.
easily do this. So then we have some really old pieces. This one is very old.
it's beautiful. I love the colors of
Yeah.
that one.
I think this may be 30s or 40s, I'm not sure. We have a lot of old patterns, and it seems like a lot of people there were a lot of patterns with a lot of colors at that time, maybe 50s also.
Yeah. And again, it's very difficult to determine the age when you knit with such high quality wool, which everybody in Norway does. So and has done throughout history. So it can be from any time really, and it still looks like it was knitted yesterday. It's in perfect condition again.
And then this is very strange, because I think this has been like it's been something wrong with it once, because if you see, this is knitted from the normal way, from bottom up, but on this side the stitches are upside down.
Yes.
So I think something happened here. So
Yeah.
they just they picked up stitches and they made the new body
Yeah.
down.
Actually, you can see here, if you look closely, there is a difference in the color.
I think this
There's
is
like
where they picked it up. Maybe I don't know. Why do you do that?
So upside down stitches, which we don't like. And then
It looks really strange when you see it.
yeah.
On this it looks more normal, but
Yeah.
I guess something happened. Maybe it was
Yeah, but people were good at
Destroy.
repairing things. I see we have a little hole there that we
Yeah.
need to repair. But it's a beautiful piece. The color combination is lovely. I really love these colors together. And yeah, and I love it. I love this nice neck, which
Yeah.
is kind of the same
as
the one
I
you did, but a little bit more. The yarn is thinner and the neckline is taller, so a little bit more sophisticated.
And the placket is just what you call that? Garter stitch.
Garter stitch.
So,
Beautiful piece.
nice colors.
So,
But something happened one day.
and now maybe this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so people, lift it up again so that everybody can see. So there's a mystery here. As we were saying, it's 2 different pieces. So what do you think happened to the sweater? Do you have a theory? Do you have some conspiracy theory or something that you'd like to share with us? I mean, it's all guessing and we have no idea. But if you have a theory, a suspicion of what could have happened, tell us in the comments fields down below.
Maybe you put it too close to the fireplace when you dried it.
Could have been.
or
Could have been.
Something happened.
Yeah, something very mysterious happened to it.
So then we have another one with the yoke. That
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from, but it's
This is very old.
old.
The sweater.
It's not the one that Anniken Sibbern made in the, was it like in the 40s? That is called Eskimo, but it's that style.
Yes, it's really nice. It's a little bit this one is a little bit worn out.
Yeah. we
Wool
still
is
have-
maybe not the best quality, but
Still have the pattern.
yeah. But it is very beautiful. Is
It
it
is
Annika
nice.
Sibbenbøn's design?
No, it's not that one. So this one we don't know. This is what I call the Icelandic sweater now.
Yeah.
The loopy, is it?
Yeah.
Loopy.
And now this one here,
Oh.
I am quite sure by just looking at the fit that this is a sweater from the 50s. I'm quite sure because
Yeah.
it's got that fitted waist. It's actually done on purpose this way so that it actually, there is a lot of decreasing going on on the side, and it is really moving towards that little, very, very narrow waist. So this is, I think, I'm pretty sure that this is a piece from 1950. It's really nice.
And that is homemade.
Homemade.
It's beautiful. We should keep this in, like in silk paper.
Yes.
Somewhere.
So now we have a few more pieces. Let's go to one of Arne's cleaning projects.
That's this one. This is like the Garter stitch blankets we did in the knit. What's it called?
Yeah, we
The
did
knit
Garter
and crochet.
stitch blankets in knit and crochet garden, and now Arne has done this jacket, or maybe we'll call it a swanklet, a sweater and a blanket put together. I don't know what it is.
Because we were like wrapping up in those blankets, and then I was thinking, why not just do a thing with raglan and garter stitch? So this is a new garden jacket.
It's very simple to do. The colors are very random. It's nothing. I mean, I'd never wear this to go out, but
No, not
but
in public.
To put it in the put it on quickly when you're going out to the garden to do something, and it's a little bit cold outside. It's perfect.
Have to finish it.
It has to be finished.
There's no buttonholes.
No, it's just
like a blanket.
It's
but
a swanklet.
So if you do something like this, you have to think about that the garter stitch is actually stretching, so you have to make it shorter. Like your sleeves has to be shorter, and also the body if you want to have like a perfect fit.
Yeah.
Because this just gets longer and longer.
Yeah. And now there's no pattern for this. This is just done randomly. It's a sweater in garter stitch in many different colors. If you know how to knit a sweater, you'll figure it out. If you want a pattern for this, let us know on the comments below, and we will consider it. But I think that most people should figure out this quite easily without a pattern.
Yes.
I think.
And the sleeves are knitted on the round.
Yeah. Are they?
Yeah. One round knit and one round purl.
Okay, so we have one more sweater to go. This is a new addition to our archives, and we thought that we would show this today because it's a nice sweater that we have. I have been wearing this one quite a lot. It's actually my own personal property, so it's not part of the archives yet, but it will be at some point. And this sweater is the sweater that Arne and I designed for Save the Children last year. And it is knitted with a beautiful yarn from Hillesvåg Ullvarefabrik in the outskirts of Bergen. And actually it is a collaboration between Arne and myself and Hillesvåg Ullvarefabrik and the largest women's magazine in Norway called Hjemmet. And the sweater is actually sold as kits at the factory and in stores all over Norway. The sweater comes as a kit with all the yarn, and when you purchase the kit, 12% of the proceeds goes towards supporting the very important work that Save the Children does all over the world. And because we have such a big international following and it's difficult to find the yarn in outside of Norway, we persuaded also Hillesvåg Ullvarefabrik to sell the pattern as a digital download. So you can purchase the pattern as a digital download and knit this, and you can get the yarn by just emailing them or calling them. They'll send you the yarn. And when you purchase the pattern, also 12% of the proceeds goes to Save the Children.
Yes.
So if you want to get the pattern for this one, you can actually go to our website at arnecarlos.com, go to our web shop, and it will be there. And purchase it, please, and be secure in knowing that it will be helping lots of children all over the world. So we thank you so much for your contribution if you've purchased it, and we thank you also if you plan on purchasing this one. It would be really nice of you. So yeah, so this is the last sweater.
Yeah.
Now we go to the next part. People ask how we store our sweaters. Can they have a look at our archives? So our archives at the moment consists of several houses on our property where we archive all our work. We are actually in the process of building a new studio or renovating several buildings, and they're going to be built together. So in a couple of years, we hope to have a beautiful archive that we can show everybody. Now the archives are, you know, one building here, one building there. They are not, we don't heat them, so it's always cool inside, and I think that that temperature is quite good for wool. And I brought something from the archives else so that you can see how it's stored. So here we have Christmas balls from our book, 55 Christmas balls to knit, and also from another book, our favorite design. They're all mixed together here. And what we do is we get these transparent plastic boxes and we store the knitwear inside.
And these can handle frost? They're
Yes.
like, they don't crack?
They don't crack, they handle
cold.
frost.
And we have minus 30 degrees.
Yes.
So
So because we're because the knitwear is stored in the winter in an unheated house, it gets really cold. That kills
the bugs.
I suppose all the bugs, bacteria. We don't have a problem with moths here where we live in Norway on the mountain, but there are moths here. So I suppose that by just storing it in a very cold place for half the year helps. And I think also by storing them in these boxes which are in plastic, things tend to not get damaged by moths. And I think also storing wool in cold weather helps refresh the wool as well.
It does. And I have this box. I brought the box to show you because we also save all the swatches we make.
And this is stored in our studio.
So this is like when we do work with design, we also do swatching. So this is a swatch for the hat for the Rowan collection. This is something we didn't use, but it's a
kid silk case in Rowan.
Case from Rowan. This is for the scarf collection. We just do this piece, and then the company we work with, like Schachenmeier, they do the whole knit thing. Because when you work with design the way we do, we don't have time to make all the garments because there's so much.
This is from the men's new Nordic collection. Beautiful little swatches with mixed kid silk case with the felted tweed. This
is a sample for the yoke on the men's sweater. Just a piece of the yoke.
Yeah, and here we've got another. Here we've got another swatch of knitting techniques that we wanted to use. And this is actually the same idea as, oh, here it is.
This and
this.
This was boring. This was
interesting. So in the end, we chose this instead of this. So yeah, several different things here.
Different yarns and techniques. So we keep all these things because you never know. If you don't use it for one collection, you can use it for another collection.
Although we used all of this in the men's collection.
Yeah, this is the women.
Schachenmeier knit and mix.
Schachenmeier knit and mix.
Yeah, and this is what we knit. So we knit this, and then they understand that this is half the front of a sweater, and then that they need to knit the other half, the back, the sleeves. So it's pretty much the way we work as designers. So now you have a little bit more information about how we store. You have to think about ways of storing your knitwear if you want to avoid the moths, I suppose. These plastic containers do the work for us in Norway. And the fact that we store them in cold temperature helps kill a lot of bugs, our eggs.
This one things. Didn't happen.
No. So anyway.
Should we?
Yeah, I think we've spoken enough. So maybe we should remind people that there is a subscribe button that you could click on, and then you would be part of a very special family of subscribers and friends of ours, and that family keeps growing and growing and growing, which is really great. So please feel free to subscribe and make sure to hit the thumbs up button if you like the video. So Arne is playing around with his swatches, so we're gonna pack this down and we'll see you again next week. Bye!